Hey everyone, it's Ben Hardy here, and in today's video, I'm going to be going over some big market updates, especially when it comes to electric vehicles. Before we get into this video though, as always, if you're going to save time and money the next time you purchase a car, link to my car buying guide in the description down below, and some of the information provided in today's video comes from Cox Automotive. Let's get into it. So despite everything that's happening in the economy, car sales continue to chug along. It is surprising how many people are continuing to go out and buy cars despite everything that's happening. So good for the car market, but it's definitely surprising. And when we dive into the EV side of the car market, this is where things get really surprising. EV sales are booming. Last quarter, quarter three, there were 300,000 or over 300,000 EVs sold, which is a new record. And this puts us on track to seeing over 1 million EVs sold in 2023, which is another huge record. And on top of that, we're actually seeing the EV market kind of disperse a little bit. Tesla is now down to a 50% market share, which is the lowest that they've ever had. Now, they did have a 20-ish% increase in sales. So Tesla's selling more cars, but everyone else is also selling more EVs. So that's why the market share went down, despite the fact that Tesla's, sales increased. But the thing that's interesting is Tesla's sales increased by less than 20%. But their prices decreased by 25%. So yeah, you can see kind of how that is all correlated right there. The price cuts are definitely pushing people to jump into the market when it comes to EVs. Now, outside of Tesla, when it comes to the other automakers, it is, not evenly dispersed, but we're seeing more and more EVs come from other automakers, and we're seeing these other automakers eat up more and more market share. And the most interesting thing, I think, is this graph that Cox Automotive posted that shows how much of a particular brand's sales came from EVs. And BMW had over 15% of their sales from EVs. And then you have that followed by Audi, Volvo, and VW all around the 12% range. Mercedes also at 12%. And then you have Porsche, Hyundai right around the 10% range. Genesis, Cadillac, 9% and 8.5% respectively. And then now things kind of dropped down quite a bit. Kia, Ford in that 4% range, Chevrolet in the 3.6% range, which I find interesting because Chevy has some of the most popular EVs like the Bolts, but Chevy also sells so many cars that even though they're selling a lot of EVs, it doesn't make up for their whole account. Nissan, 3% range, Lexus, 1.9, Subaru, 1.7, GMC, 0.8, and Toyota, 0.5%. You can see that Toyota is not really going in too much when it comes to the EV world. And if you also look at these different automakers, then what you'll find is the automakers that have a bigger percent coming from EVs also typically have more EV offerings. BMW, for example, you've got the iX, you've got the i4, right? You've got several models there. And then, VW, you've got the ID4, which is kind of like a higher volume seller. And something else with VW is they've been struggling to produce some of their ICE cars. So I think that's also kind of why that's shifted a little bit. But regardless, we're seeing, EVs kind of take over. Now, overall EV market share did increase, but it's still not at that 15% range, which is what everyone wants to see, because that means that then there will be kind of more adoption with EVs. Right now it's 7.9%, which is still a huge increase. A year ago it was 6.1%, and quarter two was 7.2%. And so this is a meaningful increase when it comes to overall market share. And so moving forward, talking about the overall market and then also the EV market, well, again, surprisingly, it looks like things are going to continue to be robust for the overall market. The overall market isn't up as much as the EV market, but it's still up year over year. And so that is remaining strong. And then when it comes to EV sales, yeah, there's more adoption. But again, I think it just comes down to pricing. So if you look at EV pricing prior to this year, EVs were pretty much as expensive as luxury cars. Whereas now there are a lot of EVs that are now about, the same price as a non-luxury car. EVs on average are still a little bit more expensive. But I mean, you look at Tesla, and with some of their price cuts, you can get some of these Tesla models that are very similarly priced to ICE-powered cars. And so now people are kind of going, well, do I want a Tesla or do I want a Toyota at this point? Whereas before it was like, do I want a Tesla or a Mercedes? So that is definitely playing into the market dynamics, right? pricing does sell at the end of the day, with cars pricing and features, obviously. And so it'll be interesting to see what happens moving forward, but I think this is going to continue to push for more adoption. And this is what everyone kind of expected. But the thing that is still kind of up in the air with the EVs is there really going to be like full on mass adoption? Like, is everyone going to jump in to the EV world? Because it seems like, I mean, at least from what you look at, you've got like half the country that says that they don't want anything to have to do with electric cars ever. And so, yeah, I guess it's one of those things where time will tell. Let me know what you guys think about this whole EV market situation and then the overall car market, remaining strong despite all of the things happening in the economy. I'll see you.